All right, we're in the next slide where they're not so small anymore. So we've got bigger factors. If you take a look, I've got a single on the top, and then I have a double on the bottom because it's separated with a subtraction. I've got a single on the top, and then I've got a double on the bottom. So remember that what we are doing is we are keep change flipping first, and then we go to factor, and then we exclusion. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to keep change flip. I'm going to keep my first fraction exactly the same. So I'm going to have 8k over 24k squared minus 40k. So that stays the same exact way. Then I'm going to change this to a multiply. And then I'm going to flip this one or take the reciprocal. So I'm actually going to have the 15k minus 25 on the top and a 1 on the bottom. And it's nice to put that 1 there just for a placeholder. Once we do that, we're going to factor everything we can. So as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing that 8k is a single term. I can't factor that at all. So I'm just going to rewrite that. So that's going down here as an 8k. This is a binomial, but it's a GCF. And the biggest number that I see that goes into 24 and 40, I believe, is 8. And they each have a k, so 8k is going to come on the outside. And when I divide 8k into this, I get 3k minus 5. Then I'm going to have my multiply. And on the top, this is another GCF. So our GCF is going to be 5. And when I factor out a 5 and divide it, I get 3k minus 5. Isn't that something? And then we got 1 on the bottom. Before we do anything else, we need to do exclusions. So our exclusions are anywhere in the denominator where there's a variable and also in the numerator of the second fraction. What's interesting about this one is this denominator piece and this numerator piece are the exact same thing. So we don't have to write that twice. We just need to have it. So I'm going to put exclusions over here because I got a little bit of space. 8k equals 0. So that means that k cannot be 0. Remember, we would take 8k, set equals 0, divide by 8. In this case, we have 3k minus 5 equals 0. I am going to take the time to do this one with you so that you understand exactly how to solve this. When we're solving for k, we want to add 5 to each side. And then divide each thing by 3 to get k alone. And we're going to leave this as a fraction, 5/3, but we're going to make sure that we know that k cannot be that value. If 5/3 is the value and I plug it in, I will get an undefined fraction. So these are my two exclusions. K can't be 0 and k can't be 5/3. So now that I have my exclusions, I can go ahead and reduce. When I'm reducing my doubles, they must be the same, and these are top and bottom identical. I do have an 8 times a k on top and an 8 times a k on the bottom, and the 8's reduce and the k's reduce. So that the only thing that's left in the numerator is 1 times 1 times 5 times 1. And all that's left in the denominator is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. So my final answer, this whole entire thing reduces to 5. And my exclusions are 0 and 5/3.